Hey everyone, today I watched Pathfinder. It's an older movie. It came out in 2007. It stars Carl Urban. He's known from Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Dread, a lot of science fiction and fantasy. I think that that's kind of what he enjoys doing, and this isn't an exception. It's definitely in that type of genre. Um, the main premise is the clash between the Native Americans of North America and the Vikings that come over, and it's basically just a constant battle between these two cultures the entire movie. And Carl Urban's character, whose name is Ghost, he finds himself between them pretty much the entire time. Um, the movie itself, the cinematography was interesting. If you know the Instagram filter, the sepia, it's kind of similar to how they filmed 300 or Sin City or something like that, where it's not quite black and white, but it's kind of dulled. All the colors are very dulled. Um, Not to mention, most of the movies takes place in a mountain and snow, so it's pretty much black and white to begin with. Uh, I think that it was really interesting. I'm biased towards these movies. Like I said, it's fantasy. It was really interesting though. I think that some people might enjoy it, but it's not for everyone. Um, the plot is, like I said, pretty much just fighting between the two groups. I think that it might have been a little bit too much fighting. It was fairly violent sometimes. If you've ever heard of what the Vikings used to do, the torture that they would put under some of their captives. And then, of course, the Native Americans are famous for scalping their victims and stuff like that. But the fighting between both of them, it kind of brought out like the different way that they go about fighting each other. What I mean is, so the Vikings, they have the brute strength. They have, the steel swords and the armor and stuff like that. But then the Native Americans, extremely agile. Bow and arrow is their expertise, and they know the land obviously much better than the Vikings. So you kind of see that it's not one-sided. It's interesting to watch. Um, it's subtitled pretty much throughout because they're either speaking the Vikings language or they're speaking the Native Americans language. There's very few instances of English, and usually that comes from Carl Urban, which is interesting because I don't know, he's not either, and I don't understand why he speaks English. But anyway, yeah, good enough movie. I think that it's not that long. That if you do watch it and you don't like it, it's not that big of a deal. It's only about an hour and a half, and I think that it does have some redeeming qualities. So if you want to check it out, I would suggest it. So thanks very much for watching the video. If you have any suggestions for the next movie, please leave it below. If you have any comments or questions, leave those below as well, and I'll see everyone in the next video.